social media. Is that where we're at? An oligarchy of social media?
Gestapo? Yeah.
All right, hold on a second. Let me Gestapo this out, and let's see if we can't get a few people watching here. Why wouldn't we?
Why wouldn't we?
Why wouldn't we? I'm gonna tweet it out to Bill O'Reilly because he's the first person that came up, Matt. Who do we know that's on right now? There we go. I'm going to just tweet it out here. Anyway, so far, one viewer, Matt, one viewer. We're going strong. We had 1,000 yesterday watch.
Right. But we've been canceled.
But apparently the Gestapo.
Me and Rachel Maddow are on sabbatical.
All right, Matt. Listen, new graphic here. New graphic. Look at it, Matt. Like breaking news. Got a new graphic. Mistrade account suspended. You know, Matt, I follow you and I see a lot of your posts, and most of them are inquisitive recently over the released findings from the Pfizer clinical trials and the ongoing Sir Jab-a-lot.
Jabfest.
It's going to be a thing, Sir Jab-a-lot. Unbelievable. Where is free speech in America?
Come on, man. Didn't you watch his speech last night? It wasn't free.
Yeah, speaking of his speech, there it is. We shall all agree the answer is not defund the police. Where the fuck were you 2 years ago? Seriously. It's unbelievable. They just flip on it.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, now we're fund the police because we're fucking polling so terribly. Matt, wait a second, though. I jumped ahead of myself. And I'm not sure I can share, but I wanted to continue, let's talk price discovery right away. Who cares what we think? Obviously, Twitter does.
Mm-hmm.
Let me share because it's at the end of the day, Matt, it's just price discovery. That's all that matters. Me and you can blather on. Anybody's an expert. Everybody's an expert. Everybody gets to blather on about what they think or what's real or what are the facts. What are the facts on the ground? But what I want to do is Twitter, man, does it look like shit? And we're going to go to the monthly here. All right. Again, standard deviation trading. It's a clean chart, Matt. It's a clean chart. It respected that up momentum on the run to the highs at $75, $77, rolled over, now fully in downward momentum. This chart and trading view, I don't know why it gets a little wonky on that lower band. The lower band's supposed to mirror the upper band on 3 standard deviations away from that moving average. And I don't know why trading view it's got wonky here. Anyway, that being said, it's still falling away potentials on the monthly. Like, so investors don't like a model where half of the people that are on there are eventually going to be just what you got, account suspended, because you share and question narratives and try to have a dialogue. And so why would you hold this thing? Why would you want to advertise on it? If you're 15 years worth of work, which is, I'm speaking to you, Matt Davio, Mistrade, 15 years on the platform. Honestly, I know you're putting things out that you want to have discussion about.
Yep.
And price discovery is this thing's going to zero, because who will stick around at the, maybe they'll have a bunch of people that it'll be a cheerleader platform where everybody just jerks each other off.
Right.
And, I don't know. It's a mind fuck, Matt. And I learned long ago, there's no orgasm in a mind fuck.
No.
Anyway, back to Uncle Joe.
Well, let me give you the chart also. I got the Twitter chart up here, so I'll just give you where we are. And the low that we saw in March of 20, we haven't quite got to. That was $20 on Twitter. So maybe Twitter needs to go to $20 before it goes to zero. It obviously does. So but it's sitting right in balance. Hate to say it, but maybe if the market turns around, this is a good buy in here. Maybe down at $26, $28, but that's the 610 chart. The daily chart, again, not quite to value. The value is down here. The value on the daily chart's way back down here at $20, $18. So
I mean, it's a 3% haircut today.
Here's the interesting thing. We've entered the double Gallagher zone, the value zone on the daily chart for the first time. And well, the last time we were here was, again, back when we took off, June of 20. So we've returned to the scene of the crime, and that's really where we were trading before all this started, right? So, and this has been a common theme in the shows the last few weeks as we talk right sides. I mean, this is exactly what's happening. Is stocks are returning to pre-COVID levels across the board. And so why wouldn't this continue down to that level of the point of control here on the daily chart, which takes you down there to, right around $20, Bob. So why wouldn't it? Why not? I mean, there's no and then fundamentally the momentum's going your way. And then fundamentally, as you said, who wants to advertise on a platform that, is supposedly allowing free speech, and then you can't have discussions with people, yet you can have people.
By the way, just to point out, right, Medvedev is still on Twitter and Putin is still on Twitter. Are they not, both of them?
I don't know.
I'm fairly sure.
But Twitter's not.
But Twitter's not on Twitter, apparently.
And Trump's not on Twitter.
It's beyond ridiculous.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I know many people that have been canceled, and it's all for, like you said. I mean, the only thing I can think is I had in the queue, that the FDA reports were released yesterday, and I linked to, an online PDF to that today. That was the only thing I said. So if you don't want, again, if information's not important to you, then, don't follow me. But if you would like to read what really happened in the studies and how many people really died, and it's all in there, circled. I pointed it out. So I guess you don't want truth.
It's unreal. It's freaking unreal. All right, Matt. Continuing on the story of the fallout from this whole altercation in Russia, and I'm going to bring this. I had this one up several months ago, and it's apropos right now. Our girl Greta, eat the fucking bugs, and it's unbelievable how true this becomes. Russia now, 75% of the world fertilizer market through Russia. Right now, we still have, we are a till, not a no-till. We till farmland to feed the world. And if you're tilling, you need fertilizer. And we got a couple of angles on this. First of all, the wheat, again, today, the wheat absolutely through the roof.
During Biden's speech, it went limit last night. So that happened, and we've just been locked today. So yeah, we closed off at, let me bring that up real quick. We shot up to 10:59 and they halted it. And it's funny, we were talking about how it was lagging a little bit, and sure enough, it followed through. And then the interesting thing is the beans are down. Beans are down, they ran up, but then they returned down, but they didn't limit themselves. So and then corn is down too. So I would expect, Bob, that when wheat comes off the, halted tomorrow, it'll probably go back down. So, everything kind of just tipped again here on Biden's excitement. God, he was excited last night, wasn't he?
Slow down. He had a loaded diaper. I could smell it from Bend, Oregon.
I think that's why. It's crazy. I think that's why Nancy was clapping so hard. Especially,
dude, come on. Oh, can we get this?
Well, yeah. What was that when they were talking about killing people? She was all excited about that.
I don't know. Can't wait to eat the bugs with Manja Rub. Let me just tell you something. We start having to eat bugs. We're gonna sell a lot of rub because that shrimp mojo on a cricket, it's fucking amazing, is what it is. It's down. Go to Amazon.com right now. Search Shrimp Mojo and buy some Manja TV Shrimp Mojo rub because cricket's going to be on the menu. Chef Andrew, what do you think about that? Anyway, Matt, along with the Russian fertilizer narrative, Lee says no bugs. Fuck you, Lee. You're going to eat them. You're going to like them. That's all there is to it. Matt, I want to share, and we've talked about.
Lee's a vegetarian. Lee's a vegetarian. What does he have against bugs? I mean, what's the problem?
I'm going to bring up two charts and then you can bring them up, Matt. We talked about these probably a month ago, and we must have been talking about fertilizer when the first war drum started to being pounded, right? And look at these two charts, and then you can bring them up. But it's CF Industries out of Long Grove, Illinois. My former neighbor, literally neighbor across the Salem Lake in Long Grove. And then we're going to look at Scott's Miracle Grow. And the only thing I can gather about these two charts, Matt, is that one actually holds fertilizer deposits like potash, things that they can actually sell. This chart looks like it's going parabolic. And this is a monthly. Look at CF Industries.
All right.
CF Industry Holdings, right? Look at that chart. It's gorgeous. And then Scott's Miracle Grow. They must have to pay more because this chart looks like it's going to $50 from 140.
Yeah,
like they can't, they're not going to be able to pass on. I don't know this, by the way. I know nothing except what the prices are telling me. I'm extrapolating that high fertilizer prices can't be good for Scott's Miracle Grow.
Right.
And high fertilizer prices has to be good for CF Industries. And at the end of the day, it's brilliant that when you're just a price discovery Nazi, like that's all you care about, right? Is it doesn't really matter. You just follow the chart. All right. I don't know. You bring them both up. Tell me what you think. I mean,
yeah, I'll start with the right side and Scott's fully right-sided. It's already been cut in half, 255 down to 136 today, on its way to, as you said, 50. I'll put it a little higher. It's going to the value area for sure, 83. We just entered value. It's kind of like the same stock as Charter, Twitter. We'll call it Charter. I mean, who cares what they're called anymore?
Twitter is, they need to rename it to Narrative.
Narrative reducer. And then, so that doesn't look pretty. And again, fundamentally, I have no idea what's going on there. And then CF Industries going through the roof. And then I see the news today. U.S. Agriculture Secretary hopes fertilizer companies will not take advantage of the situation.
Like defund the police.
Well, then Biden last night was complaining about profits of companies. Again, when you're a politician, and well, first of all, you're the one that gave out free vaccines, so you're helping the profits of Pfizer and Moderna. So fuck off. And then
not only that, I mean, maybe some of that money could have gone to insulin, as those people are getting.
Well, and then today, they announced if you have COVID, we'll give you the flu med, the Fluvox. What's the other one that that just came out? The over-the-counter
Fluvoxamine.
Yeah, so that one now we'll just send it to you. That's free too. So, and we'll send you some ivermectin and some hydrochloride, whatever it is. Fuck off. I mean,
Matt, I'm with Jimmy Urio. I'm not going to forget, and I'm not going to let it go. And Saturday Night Live, oh yeah, let's joke about it now. Meanwhile, I mean, you imagine the salt in the wound of a health worker that got fired in New York, and now it's just, oh, well, we'll just joke about it. Now,
did you see yesterday that locally, St. Charles said F you to all the non-vaccinated employees. They said, you're not coming back. Yet they're hiring traveling nurses galore, as you know.
Yeah, and they're paying them 40 to 60 grand for 12 weeks, something like that. It's insane how much they're paying them.
Right. But if you're going to speak out against us, then you're fired. And it's the same thing. I mean, how can you fire people? Like, talk about a lawsuit. If I'm the local ambulance chaser, I'm suing the shit out of St. Charles.
And I'll tell you this too. Where's the Oregon Nursing Association? Where the hell are they? I mean, you're a union supposed to protect union workers and union workers' rights.
Yep.
Complete fumble. Oh, well, we know why it is, because the left coast is the left coast for a reason. It's not just because, looking at the map from outer space with your orientation, your asshole to the South Pole, then it's the left coast. If your asshole was to the North Pole, it'd be the right coast. And
right.
Anyway, frame of reference, Matt, it's everything. And from my frame of reference, come November, how about the World Economic Forum scrubbing it's kind of like Twitter scrubbing you.
Yeah.
World Economic Forum scrubbing its website of all the propaganda bullshit that they've been pushing for 2 decades. Because it's going to be.
And Biden doesn't use Build Back Better last night. He used Build Back Greater, whatever. It's just, again, the narratives are all shifting because it's not working. It's not working, folks. And more people are seeing it. And more people are like, F, F, F. And then listening to Biden rant like a freaking tyrant last night. F you. God.
All right, Matt. What else you got? We got a major trend.
Lee says it was a campaign speech. He's right. It's like the same shit he said for 2 years before he ran, and nothing has gotten done in a year. And we have 3 more years of absolutely nothing getting done because nobody likes you, Joe. Nobody likes your bullshit. Go to bed.
Well, I honestly think what happened.
Nikes.
Let me tell you what happened is that the messaging is so good out of the left. Hollywood is great at pitching a narrative.
Yeah.
And everybody was on the bandwagon and ready to march and all emotionally invested in the narratives. The problem is, 2 years hence, all the narrative, everybody looks around their neighborhood and says, what the fuck are we doing?
Right.
And on the ground, it's completely different of what they were all feeling good about, Anyway, and I think that's what's happening. And now the Dems have no idea how to extricate the shitty outcomes of their narratives. And because that's exactly what it is.
Failed.
Shitty outcomes of their narratives. And they expect they can just change it and it'll all go away.
Hey, Lee's asking for another energy mineral play. They must be based somewhere in the Latin America. EQNR, I'm not familiar with the company, but it traded up to 35 recently, Lee, and bullish. But again, I'm not jumping on here, so enjoy the ride if you're riding it. And I guess you could stop if it gets below 25. I don't know where you bought it, but this thing has had a huge run from.
I agree 100% on the analysis. 25. I mean,
18 to
from here.
18 to 20, 18 to 35, take profits. That's what I would be saying. Take profits.
I will say this, it's still got expanding potential on the monthlies out to 37.
But this looks like an all-time high too.
It is an all-time high, and it
not quite. Not quite. It's been up to in the Obama years again when oil was this high last time. So again, it's an oil play. So clearly an oil play, again, not a name I trade or follow. Trades a lot.
$43. Yeah. Lee, if you don't take profits at $43, you are a squeal.
And again, unless oil is over 150 a barrel, this probably won't be over $43. And that 150 was the old high. So, and oil today, by the way, we'll talk a little bit about oil because, Bob, what did it do? Hit another new high of 112.60, and then it pulled back. I haven't looked in the last hour or so. I looked this morning. I'm not involved in it, not trading it either way currently. But back down to 109, still up 5% for the day. But again, on this long-term chart, don't forget, we traded 148. So 148, Lee, would get you that price probably again. And this was the high put in 08 again before Obama election in November of 08. So remember, we've got the midterms coming up. Bob, let's talk about this a little bit. I think kind of the narrative play right now for these guys is kill everything, make everybody feel happy for about 6 months, get the elections through. They're going to lose. And then we'll see, do things start to move because we have more Republicans now in the Congress and Senate again? Or is it just, the same old executive orders ruled by tyrancy, Biden's diapers needing changed every day as he shits himself? I mean, we have 3 years left.
Proxy or rule by legislature.
Yeah, we have 3 years left of this. So enjoy it. Go for a ride.
Thank you.
Today market's up, back up to where it was yesterday. We're at the highs of the week. So I don't know what to make of it. We're just grinding. We're grinding one way, which again is what I would suspect. Everybody puts out their buy orders today, but and again, we're still at the beginning of the month. Talk to me. Next week we have rollover beginning,
Right
Bob, on the financials. So a lot of things happening. A lot of people are still pointing towards that Ides of March. 314 is a big turning point, up or down. Marty likes that.
And
number.
I got 4561 is the monthly momentum level. It's also the high of last month.
Yeah.
And that's not, the way these things are moving, we could be there by the end of the week.
Last night was pretty exciting watching Michigan basketball, I got to say. And they tore it up on Little Bro. And I don't know if you watched any of it, but Hunter Dickinson was taunting with his face Tom Izzo, and all game, and Tom Izzo finally snapped, and I loved it. And Hunter Dickinson went on to put on 30 points on the freaking Sparties. I think that win will get us into the tourney. I do. I think it'll put on. They put on a show. It was just a blowout from the start, and it was fun. The crowd was rocking. The kids were having fun. March Madness is here. Let's celebrate the good things. Whoever your team is, Bob, whoever your team is. And if it's Boise State, if it's Michigan, if it's Michigan State, have some fun, because it's one of the best times of year is the Tournament Madness, I think. And then that leads into
mushrooms, Matt. Speaking of mushrooms, that leads into everything leads back to mushrooms.
Everything,
let's face it.
Still,
if you're going to eat bugs, I highly recommend a nice saute of mushrooms with the crickets, a little mushroom cricket risotto. Maybe we'll bring that out for our Kentucky Derby party. Mushroom cricket risotto.
Well, and speaking of mushroom crickets, Compass has kind of found a bottom, possibly. And I'm going to bring that up here. That trailed down here to 1061. And we got earnings next up. When are they? And they have obviously nothing going on there. They have zero revenues. They're a developmental company, so don't forget that. Losing money, burning money, and those come out in May. Yeah, I don't see that affecting the stock because it is developmental. But at 1061, this might be the area for you to nipple, Bob. Finally.
Little micro dosing on Compass Pathways. All right,
mean,
Matt, anything else? Anything else? You suspended SOB. Account suspended.
What are you going to do? What you going to do?
All right, that's what we got. Please visit us at marketvitals.io. Please share and retweet, especially this broadcast as we push it out on marketvitals.io or marketvitals.io on the Twittersphere, the shitosphere. True Social can't come quick enough and build a solid customer base for truth-seeking Americans, either side of the aisle. America. All right, Matt, thank you so much.
Thanks, Bobby.
Righto, see ya.